Shooting it raw?
Yes. Shooting it raw. Okay, so photo 3 by Dickie Suzuki is a shot of an arcade that looks kind of old. The ground is cobblestone, so it looks like it faces the street. The light, again, is from a fluorescent tube, so it's very cold. There are 3 arcade units, like, the shot is of 3 arcade units, the faces facing the photographer. Hard to know what the arcades are. They look kind of like that Japanese style of where there's the claw that picks stuff up for people to win plush toys or whatever.
Machines,
Right. What I love about your photos is that there's a lot of darkness, a lot of vivid colors. So go ahead. What's this?
So it's a grab machine, and it's facing an alleyway in Yuen Long. Again, it caught my eye for its dystopian values, its color saturation, and I like the patina on it as well. That you'll see a common theme throughout my photography. Again, it's the fluorescent lighting, it's the saturated color palettes, but it's also a cacophony of textures and layers inside my frames. So this one, it's a little bit dystopian because you can see it's a grab machine. So obviously it takes coins, but you're going to get little or, in my point of view, not much of a reward. The cabinet on the left is cup noodles. You got your gacha balls in the middle, and then you got your cheap stuffed toys on the right.
Mm-hmm.
How many coins do you have to put in there to get a piece of tat?
Mm-hmm.
And then you can look closer and see all the security cameras around it that are the security point of view, as well as Big Brother always watching.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really a texture play and a social commentary that I like about this.
Mm-hmm. And like I was once in Mongkok, and it was like morning, and I was taking my daughter, and that we were walking by one of these places, and they had like 20 of these machines, and there was this one guy with a bag full of coins, and he was just again and again and again just kind of playing this game. And then he was collecting the prizes, which I think he was going to resell. So it's like this really strange side hustle. Yeah, it's very bizarre. It's very peculiar.
I doubt it was a side hustle because you could actually go into certain arcades and just buy them off the rack, and these plushes and these prizes are not something that are worth any money, in my opinion.
I agree.
Especially not in the resale market.
Mm.
Not unless there's a unique item in there, is a collector's piece or something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
Could it be lucrative? But I see it's more of a, it's a gaming addiction.
Right.
It's like the arcades in Hong Kong are full of these old gaming machines, but it's illegal to gamble here outside of the jockey club.
Mm-hmm.
So you go in there and you put your coins in, and you're playing slot machines, you're playing other machines where you're just accumulating numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing gained from it financially. It's just a fun waste of time.
Right. So let's talk about fun wastes of time. You come to Hong Kong. What was the draw? Like, why Hong Kong of every place on earth? Why here?
I was going through art college, I was exposed to Orientalism, if you will, and all that design cacophony of the best design in the world in my opinion, ranging from you got your Japanese kaijus to some of the most beautiful design ever produced, whether it be woodwork, fabric design, costume design, you name it. I think this part of the world has a unique take
Hmm.
on that, and so that was the draw basically, as well as not discounting the Blade Runner aspect of it all. Oh wow, that's super exotic. I'm going
Hmm.
over there.
Hmm.
I thought I was on my way to Japan. I never quite made it that far.
Right. So one of the interesting, because I've met a lot of people like you, who've come
Yeah,
here and as photographers, like one guy, he just has a kind of, in comparison to like the serious professional kits, he has like I don't remember what it was like a Canon 5 or something. It was like not a 5D. It was like a small compact. And he was
yeah,
walking down the street and he made a really nice photo of the streetcars. And he was just, and he happened to work in an ad agency. And then they said, wow,
yeah,
that photograph is so perfect that they used it for billboard size, like campaigns. It was just, I mean, in a way, it's kind of like a dream come true, right? He got like tens of thousands of dollars for it. And it was just like a snapshot. So,
yeah,
given your time in this fantastic, very photographable city, do you have a story like that where
yeah.
one of your photos just had its own little life that just completely blew you away?
I I haven't sold any of my work for commercial purposes. I'm not so sure my work would lend itself to that. Yeah, I've been commissioned a few times to go and shoot in my style,
Hmm.
but that's dictated on my terms.
Right.
It was a fashion shoot that I did for a New York brand, and they said, "We give you carte blanche. We want it in your style. Here's the clothes. Off you go."
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, right. I put these guys or the talent in these kind of environments, and there you go.
And how did that campaign go?
They're still releasing it. It's called Legacy of Resilience. It's out of New York, and they've only released what 4 or 5 shots thus far, and
Wow.
you can find them on Instagram.
I don't know. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to shoot. A single day I must have shot 800 shots,
Nice.
12 different locations.
Excellent. Excellent. So, okay.
Yeah.
So do you have a website? Do you have a place where people can see all your work?
Yeah, I show my work on Instagram primarily. It's all Dickie Suzuki, Dickie Suzuki, or you can go to dickiesuzuki.com, again, where I showcase my work.
The links will be in the show notes for sure. Dickie, this is fantastic. Do you want to say anything else about this third photo, or do you want to move on to the next picture?
No, I just love it. I don't have much of a backstory behind it. It's just one of those images that I was compelled to photograph.
Hmm. Hmm. So, but okay, so here's okay. I tend to be a navel gazer. I tend to kind of want to find out like what more, like what else is there. And sometimes in these interviews or in these conversations, people realize things about. It's like, oh, wait a second. So if we were to do that, if we were to sort of look at this image as a kind of reflection of who you are as a person, right? Like why you would
Yeah.
stop in front of them, why you would, respond to that. What do you think? What is going on behind the photographs that communicates something about who you are and your motives?
Hmm. That's a tricky one. You're trying to get me to psychoanalyze my photography, and it's not something I do only on retrospect, and so I'm going to have a go.
Okay.
So it's playful in nature. It's it's certainly photogenic. There's no denying that, in my opinion. Again, it's that those layers of storytelling there. If you're willing to take the deep dive and try and post examine this,
Mm-hmm.
you could easily look at. I went to see Blade Runner when I was 15 years old. I spent a lot of time playing arcade games in the arcades in the 80s. all of those things, as well as the whole Asian Orientalism aspect of these design tropes that are present in this photograph. It's all there to me,
Hmm.
but it's playfulness primarily. Playfulness, but
Yeah.
aesthetically pleasing.
So one of the things I would say about the work is that, there is a playfulness, but you're not doing visual puns. Like some people are playful in their photographs, and it's more like hamming it up. Like, for example, having faces of people doing strange expressions or whatever. It's not like that. It's more like here. I'm looking at this photo of the arcade. It's absurd, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's basically a place where people go to kill time in a very kind of low level way, put in a
yeah,
few dollars or whatever, and then just do a little game of skill, and then it's over within 30 seconds, and do it again and do it again for a
yeah.
payoff that might be actually quite cheap. But there's something, I don't know if I'd use the word witty, but there's something playful for sure, where you're just kind of like saying, well, look at this.
Yeah, and you could use the word witty. I would accept that, But yeah, back to your original part of that conversation, where it's a lot of photographers are doing those kind of juxtapositions where you've got, a bush growing out of a wall with a person walking just at the right moment, so it looks like the bush is growing out of their heads. That's not my kind of
Hmm.
photography. One, I don't
Right.
have the patience for it, and two, it's not what I'm looking for. I want something that goes deeper than face value.
Yeah.
It can be initially arresting, but then if you take the time to dissect it, there's a lot more going on, in my opinion.
But I love the fact that you're also doing something. I don't want to call you a stranger in a strange land because you've lived here for so long. You're not a stranger, but you are providing,
No.
like you're projecting, like you're noticing for people who maybe have never been out here things that are quite unusual. The guy leaving
Yeah,
like a bordello or whatever, so he's just had his little hour of pleasure, and there's this kind of slinking away, and is it depressing, is it offensive, is it controversial? But maybe it's just the guy who's just getting his pleasure switches flicked. I don't know.
it's all of those. I want all of those questions to come up when you're looking at a piece. I don't take it on just on face value. You got to ask the questions: why, what was going on,
Hmm.
why is this happening? Why is it lit this way? Again, all of those questions come up in my mind. And you're right. I
Yep.
do want to showcase the dystopian beauty of this part of the world to people that have not experienced it.
Hmm.
Even the younger generation of Hong Kong look at my work and go, "I never thought of it like that," which brings
Mm.
me great joy. Actually, there's a couple of my
Nice.
pieces that I go even deeper into the storytelling, pulling on history tropes and all these kind of things. And I'm educating young locals that just haven't noticed that before about their city.
Yeah.
And, Hong Kong is my muse. I'll always love this city. It's such a beautiful place
Oh,
to
listen to
photograph.
you.
Well, to share that,
So, is life really a gift? Really? Can you make every second count? That's the whole point of the podcast. So, if you like what you've seen and you're inspired, because that really is my mission, then please give it a like, subscribe, and share.
Shooting it raw?
Yes, shooting it raw.